Hey y'all, so this video is gonna be a little different. I've realized with, since everything's been going on, I've realized that it's a lot of hurt people within our community, and I did a video about Terry Crews last night. If you want to go ahead and watch that, you can watch it. But I realize it's a lot of hurt people within our community that have been hurt by people within our community. And the type of person that I am, even though I feel like it's a time to say certain things and it's a certain way you say certain things, I'm not the type of person to dismiss anybody's feelings. If somebody is hurt, I'm not the type to dismiss it, because I don't know how you feeling. I don't know what your experience is. And I will hear you out, and I will try to put myself in your shoes and try to see, why do you feel that way? So this video is going to be a little different. I just want to address the underlying issues of, what people have said. So the first person I'm going to talk about is Deja Harris. Now, Deja Harris had tweeted some things not too long ago, and she was talking about how, molestation goes on within the black community, and how, black families just sweep it under the rug and act like nothing happened. So in this first tweet, Deja said, "Okay, I'm so tired of how the black community doesn't speak up on the things that happens in the family. Stop protecting the men and women that touch children." So she started getting backlash, people saying, now isn't the time. So she responded and said, "Man, some of y'all are really messed up. It ain't no, we'll address this later. Are you kidding me? We can talk about it all right now. It's messed any of y'all that like these tweets or anything of that sort, just showing you agree and support it." Then, as you can see right here, someone was like, "This isn't the time." And Deja replied, "Man, all the times is the time. What do you mean this isn't the time, Mari? We must protect all black children, all children. I can't believe you'd even say such a thing. Every time is a time to protect all black children. I would protect and die for you." Now, though I have to admit, talking about it during this time when everything is going on is not best of times, because people really gonna dismiss what you have to say. They're not gonna really pay attention to it because of everything else that's going on. I feel like picking a time where things are more settled and more quiet is when to decide to talk about this. But like I said, the type of person I am, I don't dismiss anybody, and I hear you completely. That does happen within the black community a lot. Grown people touching kids. You have most young parents, young moms, that's like 15, 16. Most of the father of their kids is some man that's in their 20s. And people, they sweep it up under the rug. Just like people will sit there, they'll know that someone in their family was molested, and they'll sweep it up under the rug. They don't want to express it or anything like that. But if somebody was to come out and say that they're gay, then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And honestly, I don't understand that. I feel like that's something that we do have to change inside of our community, because just like Boosie, he's paying women to come and molest his son, and I made a video about that, and I'm highly against that. What people have to understand is, when you're molested, especially as a child, it messes with your psyche. It messes with your mind, you know. It makes you not want to trust anybody. It makes you not want to fall in love with anybody. You know, it makes you not want to express things to certain people. You know, I mean, because if you think about it, the person that 9 times out of 10 that molests kids, they be molested by somebody that they initially thought that they could trust. And if you're their parent or you're someone that's close to them and they can't even trust you to handle it in an adult situation, you don't address the person that molested them. You don't go to the cops. You know what I'm saying? Try to get charges pressed. You don't do anything. The only thing you do is sweeping up under the rug. Then can they really trust you? Can they really trust you? It messes up children's minds. And I agree, within our community, that is something that we have to address. We can't dismiss it. Even though, you know, Deja, she decided to talk about this at the wrong time, that's something that we can't dismiss. We have to do better by our kids. If you know that somebody is a pedophile, don't have your kids around them. If they're on the sex offender website, don't have your kids around them. I've seen women that is so desperate to have a man that will sit there and date somebody that they know damn well is on a sex offender website and have their little girl around this man. Some women, even little boy, but the woman I'm speaking of has her little girl or had her little girl around this man that is on the sex offender website. Also, she can have somebody. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Because it's never, I mean, if you would go to that extent to sit there and put your child in danger just because you have some kind of insecurity or you can't be alone, then something is wrong with you. Then people, you know, people, they don't like calling cops. They don't like calling cops. But I'm sorry, if you know somebody has touched your child, has touched a child, I don't care how fast ass the girl act. I don't care if she is 14 and 15, but she wear booty shorts and show her cleavage and stuff. If you know somebody that is of age that is messing around with that damn child and you don't call the cops, then honestly, you deserve to be arrested too, because it's like you're condoning it. No, you yourself don't date kids or knock kids up or ruin kids' lives. But you knew about it and you didn't do anything about it. You just sweep it up under the rug, act like it didn't happen. You're condoning it. So, like I said, I feel Deja's pain. You know, something happened to me when I was a kid, and thank God my mom took action. That man went to jail. So I thank God every day that the type of parent that I had ain't sweep nothing under the rug. We went straight to the courthouse. My mom won't play in that, you know, and my mom has a disability. And she has a learning disability. So for my mom to still have common sense to know this isn't right, I'm going to get the law involved, we're going to get justice, you're not just about to touch my child, anybody can do it. So if you're a regular person out here, ain't nothing wrong with you, and you sitting there sweeping stuff under the rug, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Shame on you. That's something that we do have to address. It's so many people within our community that has been touched and decide to not tell anybody. And the person that did it to him is still walking around here, still touching other kids. And that's the reality of it. When you don't tell somebody about a pedophile, somebody that's touching kids, that man's not touching just your kids or just that child. They're touching, they touching a lot of kids. They're ruining a lot of kids' lives. You know, that's what people got to understand. It don't just stop with that child. If you do your job and you put a stop to it now and you teach that child, look, I'm sorry that it happened to you, but you got to understand that no, you cannot trust that person, but you can trust me. And don't be in this world feeling like you can't trust anybody, or don't be in this world holding resentment over yourself, and don't feel like it was your fault, the reason why it happened to you. You know, I have your back. We're going to make sure this MFer get the time that he deserves. So I'm with Deja on that. The conversation, her point or whatever, it got dismissed because of everything that's going on. But I'm with her on that. As within our community, we got to do better. Period. Another thing that I decided to talk about is Trina. Now, I did a video about Trina not too long ago. If you want to check it out, you can. But Trina went viral not too long ago because she was on a radio station talking to Trick Daddy. And she was saying how the protesters, they're animals. And I mean, she just had all this anger built up inside of her to the point that she couldn't she just couldn't say, you know, the right thing. It was almost like she was just speaking out of anger. You know how like when you're angry, you're upset and you're just talking and the things that you're saying, it ain't even making sense. That's what it was with her. And she said some really offensive things. And even though she tried to backtrack her apology or whatever, once you say something wrong, it's really not no backtracking, you know. But throughout her rant, I picked up that, you know, she's pretty angry. She's angry. One thing she said, she brought up her not her father, but she brought up her brother getting killed by another black man. And she told Trick Daddy, she was like, if Black Lives matter, then all lives should matter. No, then all Black lives should matter. A life is a life, or something like that. And honestly, even though you know, everything she was saying, it just came out of, you know, it just seemed like it came out of anger. And after she, you know, she said protesters is animals and all this other stuff, everything she said after that could have kicked rocks for all I care, because at that point I was mad. I was like, oh, you done pissed a lot of people off now. But I agree with her, and I feel like within our community, black on black crime is an issue. Is it the same as blue on black crime? No. And to bring it up while you're talking about, you know, blue on black crime, it was not appropriate. And, you know, it's going to get dismissed because people going to feel like, oh, you're just another one of those people that always be like, oh, well, you care when the cop does it. Well, what about black on black crime? That's how it comes off. But if you just so happen to wait until everything settle or a more quieter time and you decide, okay, let me address black on black crime, it might be taken a different way. So within our community, black on black crime is an issue. And that's something that we can't dismiss. We can't dismiss it. You know, we can't dismiss that black on black crime is a thing. It is. It's a thing. I mean, you have children that can't even sleep in their mom's van, car, without getting shot by a stray bullet. Just like the little boy that was on TikTok with his father on the balcony dancing, having fun with his dad. His dad left him on the balcony for a few seconds and his son ends up getting shot. You know, you got people that will see a birthday party going on for, say, for instance, a 5-year-old and will literally do a drive-by and not give a crap. I done seen so many videos of black people killing black people. And honestly, within the rap music, all they do, they put, you know, black on black crime on a pedestal and make it seem like you're hard, you're tough. If you walk around and you got a gun and you just killing people, I shoot you in the head and all this other stuff. That mess ain't cool. Yeah, it sounds cool when you're a child, when you're a teenager, you know, and you really don't have no other type of guidance. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the people that really swallow those words and live by it is the type of people that really didn't have no type of guidance growing up, because either they seen it in real life and then they're listening to this music and the music is saying the same thing. You know? I mean, that's, like I said, it's something that we do have to address. Black on black crime is not cool. I mean, look at Chicago. Look at everywhere. Look at New Orleans. I mean, look at everywhere. Black on black crime happens everywhere. Of course. Duh. You know. But, I mean, we have to get it together. because it's not cool. If we gonna sit here, we're gonna be about this movement and we're gonna try to better our communities and stuff like that, then we have to start with ourselves as well. And I'm just keeping it 100. I don't care who I offend with this video. I really don't. I'm just keeping it 100. We got to start with ourselves too. Just like when you decide, hey, I want to be a better person. You start within the core of yourself, right? You figure out within the core of yourself, okay, what do I have to fix about me? What happened in my life that made me act this way, that made me feel this way, that makes me respond this way? You get what I'm saying? And you try to fix it. And that's what we have to do within our community. You know, yeah, we have to fight racial stuff or whatever, of course. But at the end of the day, we have to fix our mind. We have to fix how we do things as well. Because if we're going to sit here, we're going to make a better future for ourselves and for our descendants, then we have to make sure that our descendants can get a job with no problem, can get a business loan with no problem. You know what I'm saying? But as well, they don't feel like they have to, you know, join a gang in order to feel like they belong. They don't feel like they have to fight. They have to carry a gun. They have to sell drugs. They have to do drugs. They have to have so many different women and all this other stuff. They're not going to feel like that if we handle this the right way. So even though Trina, she was blurting things out or whatever like that, I picked up on that message and I feel her completely. Black on black crime does have to stop. It's so many young boys that don't even make it to the age of 25, 24. I mean, they don't see it. And that's sad. And then when you hear about it, people be like, oh, you know, and they be mad for a little minute, but then after that, it be over with. And that's not cool. It's not cool. It's really not. Just like to people that sell drugs, it's not cool to sit there and be having kids selling drugs just because they can't go to jail. It's not cool to sit there and have kids commit crimes, shoot people, whatever the case may be, just because they can't go to jail. That's not cool. And we have to change that within our community. I don't care who I piss off with this video. It's not cool. And that's something that we do have to change within our community. But when it comes to Trina, it's not cool to sit there and act like, you know, women, I'm not going to say they have to, but it's not cool to sit there and have young kids listening to, especially young girls, listening to stuff about having sex with 5 or 6 best friends and all this other sexual provocative stuff, dancing all over the music videos, shaking your tail or whatever the case may be. Like, I understand, you know, women empowerment, you know, the age where women feel like, you know, we could do whatever we want to do. If men can do it, we can do it too. I understand that. But at the end of the day, if that's your only message, then it's a problem. So I mean, I get what you're saying when you brought up the black on black crime. You know, I get that. But at the same time, you done some toxic things too. And I mean, let's just be real. So with these new artists that's out and they, you know, this stripper culture, this prostitution culture, this OnlyFans culture that got all these girls feeling like, oh, well, I don't need to go to college. I don't need to go to college. I don't need to start my own business. I don't need to, you know, because all I got to do is get OnlyFans, or all I got to do is just start stripping or having sex with so many different men, or, you know, I'm in my bag, but I'm also in his bag too. Like, that's all I need to do. I mean, because that's what they sing about. Like, it's not cool. And I mean, of course, us grown women, like, we can listen to music like that and be like, go on with our life. But when it comes to these kids, yeah, they take it a whole different way. So you have to take accountability for your actions as well. And I understand, like, the music industry, they really don't want people saying some real shit. They don't want people talking about getting businesses and stuff like that, rebuilding their communities and stuff. You know, they when black women, they talk about, you know, their asses and titties and all this other stuff. Oh, they'll push that. When rappers talk about drugs and hoes and all this other stuff, they push that. But when they talk about you know, some real life things, the music industry act like they can't push that. And that lets you know right there that that's how they want our people to act, you know. So yeah. Now I'm moving on to Terry Crews. Now last night I made a video about Terry Crews, and you can go ahead, you can check that video out. But Terry Crews, he went to Twitter, and he says some things that really ticked me off, you know. Ticked me off, not only ticked me off, but ticked a lot of people off, you know. But his real issue was that there's black people that do act like they're the gatekeeper of the black community. And if you don't act a certain way, you don't talk a certain way, you don't dress a certain way, you know, you're not black. And they will literally tell you you're not black, and they will treat you different. They will pick on you or anything. So it was like, when he said it, you know, I got that part, because I've experienced that as well, as people telling me, oh, Katrina, you're not black. I've experienced that as well. But what I got on him about was, you're not going to sit there and put that with what you just said, because that's two different things. You're not about to sit there and mix that. That's not what you're about to do, Terry. But I got what he was saying. So I'm going to sit there. I'm going to address his underlying issue. Okay, because I heard you. Even though I fleshed you out in my video, I heard you. And yeah, it is an issue within the black community that, you know, they make you feel like, oh, if you don't talk this way, you don't carry yourself this way, you don't dress this way, you don't eat this certain thing, you don't listen to this type of music or whatever, you're not black. And honestly, we got to stop that. We really do. We have to stop that. And then we sit here and we look and we wonder, how come this black guy is dating this white girl? How come this black girl is dating this white guy? How come they only have white friends? And how come this? And how come that? And how come this? Well, maybe it's because you done spent his whole, you done told him forever he's not black, and you done made him feel like he doesn't belong, and you done made him feel like he's some kind of weirdo. Maybe he feels like he can't relate, and you done drilled in his head so long that he's not black, and that's the reason why he hasn't even, I guess, took the time of day to find someone that is black as well, that can actually relate to him or actually is like him, you know, because he probably feel like they don't exist. Because all of them act the same way. They even spent all my life telling me I'm not black. They all act the same way. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you sit there and you drill somebody in like, you're not black, you're not black, you're not black, that does make people feel like some kind of outcast. Now, he said something about black supremacy. I ain't gonna go that far. You know, it won't, well, my experience, I'm not gonna dismiss his. Maybe his experience is different because he is a black man. So I know maybe with black men, when people say you're not black, maybe they do like pick on you extra harder and make you feel extra weird and something like that. But I know when it comes to me, the most I have to deal with is when I say something. If I'm talking to somebody, say for instance, like I'm talking to another black woman, and you know, most black women, they all don't take this offensive, but they seem to all kind of talk the same, or I don't know, I'm not gonna say talk the same, but they don't, I guess they don't talk like me, because every time I say something, they repeat what I say, and they repeat it in like a very high-pitched white girl sounding voice. And you know, I always think in my head, like, what the fuck, like, why you have to do all that? But then at the end of the day, I'm so used to it happening, and I'm so used to people saying, oh, Katrina, you act different, you act like a white girl, this, that, and the third. I done got to the point now, because I'm 30 years old, I don't care. You can kiss my ass, because I know damn well when I go in Food Lion, when I go into Walmart, when I go pelt my gas or anything, when I go into the bank or anything, I know I'm black, trust me, because of the racism that I face. So I don't care what kind of approval I don't get. That don't mean like I'm not black. So within our community, that is something that we do have to take accountability over. Telling somebody they not black because they have different viewpoints, because they have they dress different, they act different. Maybe you're into rap music and this other boy is into like anime or into like some kind of rock music or something like that. So because you can't relate to him, all of a sudden he act black. But I mean, he don't act black, but maybe he just acts like himself. Maybe he's not acting a certain color. Maybe he's acting like who the hell he's supposed to act like, who God intended him to act like. You got to understand, black is not a certain thing. White is not a certain thing. Yeah, we have our cultures or whatever the case may be, but it's not a certain thing. It's billions of black people in this world. Do you not understand that? And we all think differently. Just like with Candice Owens, as much as Candice Owens, honey, as much as she sit here and I think she done for I don't know what's going on with Candice Owens, but people tell Candice Owens, you know, she's not black or whatever the case. And Candice Owens is black, you know. She's dealt with racism before, and though she forgot she's black, I believe she did forget she's black. Especially like she just got done having a fundraiser for some racist restaurant. I guess because he got on social media, he was talking about black people or whatever the case may be, and some black people went into his store, they said something to him. So Candice Owens, she put it on herself to sit here and start a fundraiser for this man, and her fundraiser got taken away. So she was on Instagram not too long ago crying about it, saying she hate Democrats and all this other stuff. So her right there trying to support this man that's clearly racist, because she, as she call it, people have a right to have different of opinions. Okay, boo. But homegirl's still black. But anyways, y'all, everybody has to stop with the you not black thing, because it's really hurting our community. You know, I mean, we could have some really successful business owners and, you know, some successful ideas and stuff within our within our community, within our movie productions and stuff like that. Like, we could really have some cool things if you let people be them. It don't make no sense every time a black movie is made, it's something dealing with killing and stuff like that. I don't want to see that shit. Like, I want to see us, like John Peel, make some cool stuff. It could be more of that if you just let people be themselves instead of always trying to put them down and put them in a box because how they look. We hurt ourselves when we do that. When we tell somebody you're not black, we hurt ourselves. We do. We hurt ourselves. So we need to cut the bullshit and stop telling our own people what they is and what they ain't, and let them be themselves freely. This mental slavery stuff has to stop. This sweeping pedophilia under the rug, it has to stop. This black on black crime, all these men killing each other and stuff like that, it has to stop. All this stuff, it has to stop. And I know I got common sense to know it's not going to stop. But I mean, it really does have to slow down though. Like, we have to take accountability for our own actions. And I know people, they don't like to take accountability for how they make other people feel, especially when the other people look just like them. But that's something that we have to do. You know, that's something we have to do. We can't dismiss. We can't sit here and tell white people, oh, this is how you made me feel. This is how you made me feel. And get mad because they don't see our point of view. But then your own people telling you how you made them feel. And we tell them, oh, now is not the time. Or you just a coon or something like that. No, hear them out. Because people have a right to feel however way they want to feel. Period. Now, this is going to be the last one that I bring up, and I'm going to wrap it up. But Asiandoll had took to Twitter not too long ago. And she said, a lot of light-skinned girls posting Black Lives Matter. Like you hoes, not racist too. Y'all bully dark-skinned girls our whole life thinking y'all was better than us. Spreading fake love. Y'all will never understand us. Now, when she posted this tweet, I realized some light-skinned girls, they were like, yeah, you know, some of them were like, well, we experience a lot of hate from dark-skinned girls as well. But a lot of people was basically acting like they was blind to it. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. They try to pull that we all black card. We all black. It don't matter if you're light-skinned black, if you're brown-skinned black, dark-skinned black. It don't matter. But in actuality, colorism is really a thing within the black community. You know, and is right now the time to bring it up? I mean, it gets dismissed right about now because everything that happens. But colorism is really a thing within our community. You have people that like unconsciously will show more favoritism towards a light-skinned child than the dark-skinned child. You know, say for instance, like if it's your grandma or something, and your grandma is being colorist, but she don't realize she's being colorist. Sometimes people can do things and they don't even realize it because, you know, mental slavery is that deep. The colorism runs that deep. You know, it's so conditioned upon our people that we don't even realize that we do it. You know, but I know for a fact as when you're a darker skinned child, you do get treated differently than a lighter skinned child. And if a lighter skinned child, 9 times out of 10, they gonna pick up on them getting treated differently or more boys wanting them or whatever. And sometimes light-skinned girls, yes, you would, and I don't care if you unsubscribe from me, but yes, you would make yourself better than darker toned women. You know, you would do that. You know, I'll never forget, I was in high school one time and I was in band. I was a band geek, and I was looking in the mirror in the bathroom. And the light in the bathroom kind of went dim. I went to a black school, and you know, our school system was real poor, but our light had went dim. So I was like, dang, it just got darker in here. And this light-skinned girl, I think she was like a major red or something, but she was standing behind me, and this girl really was like, nah, it's just because I stood in the mirror with you. And she walked off like she said something, not knowing that how much I wanted to beat her ass right then and there. But I just got from being suspended. So, but anyways, so I know for a fact, I done had a friend, you know, that I used to call my close friend, that's real light skinned, that constantly will talk about her skin complexion. Constantly, over and over and over. That's all you hear about is the fact that she was light skinned. And she would tell me, I'm light skinned, you brown skinned. I'm talking about this girl, even though she was light bright, this girl would still use skin lightness. Because during the summertime, she don't like to get that golden color. She didn't like it. She still wants to look damn near white. So this girl would literally go and use skin lighteners so she can keep up that appearance. So I know for a fact that colorism is really a thing within the black community. And people can sit there, they can come for Asiandoll all they want to, but it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, and I mean, people do what they're taught. You have old people that would treat lighter skinned kids better than darker skinned kids. You have people's parents, say for instance, like a parent, they have a lighter skinned child and a darker skinned child, and they would tend to brag about their lighter skinned child more than they brag about their darker skinned child. You know what I'm saying? People notice stuff like that. Colorism is a real issue that we have to deal with within the black community, and that we have to fix. But another thing I would say is sometimes dark-skinned women will hate light-skinned women for no reason at all. Not all light-skinned women will make you feel bad about yourself being dark-skinned, but if you've had a bad experience with the lighter-skinned woman, hell yeah, you're gonna feel some type of way about all light-skinned women because you feel like they're all the same. But in actuality, they're not. And sometimes when, you know, black women, when we see lighter skinned women, we automatically think that the bitch, I said the bitch, we automatically think that the bitch thinks that she cute, you know? And sometimes, like Jada Pinkett and her mom was talking about on the Red Table Talk, how they was talking about how when you're a light skinned woman, or a light skinned girl, you have to learn how to fight because people will literally try to bank you or whatever. I never seen that in real life. In my experience, I've never seen nobody just run up and just try to fight somebody because they light skinned. I never seen it. But I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that they've experienced it. You know, they lived in a whole different state from me or whatever the case. So, yeah. But within our community, we do have to face colorism. We do have to take accountability. Like, yeah, within our community, we do make each other feel bad because of the tone of their skin. And that's something that we have to fix. You know, that's something that we have to fix, because we can't sit here and tell white people, oh, skin is skin, all skin is skin. Why you hate me because the color of my skin? But then in the same breath, you making somebody feel bad because they dark skin. Or you don't want to give nobody a chance to be your friend because they light skin. You know what I'm saying? You can't do both. That's hypocritical as fuck. You can't do both. You got to pick. You know, is you going to be against colorism and racism or not? Of course, racism, colorism, two different things. But if you're against racism, you got to be against colorism as well. You can't do both. You can't be against racism, but then at the same time, you're a colorist. You can't do both. Okay, so that's something that we do have to address within our community. All right. But anyways, that's the end of my video. I know it's long-winded. If you made it this far though, I fucks with you heavy. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.